Same every year, Cowboys. What else can I say, guys? And the Eagles, the collapse is over. Finally. Holy crap. And we'll get to the Rams game, too. Let's go, though. 2024 NFL Super Wildcard Weekend recap. 6 games to go through. Let's get this thing going.
Based off angles. When you see the angles of these guys and the way they approach tackling, it's crazy. Like nobody plays together. Put them in a cup.
Anyone?
Mike, you have a year left on your
Oh, hell no! On that hit with Deshaun Elliott, a runner there as he lowers his head, and that red comes off the helmet.
Kick my music, please! Mediocre team and Big D. That's what makes this
Welcome to Super Wildcard Weekend presented by Verizon. The champions of the AFC South, the Houston Texans, the 4th seed in the AFC, kick off the playoff. Manageable third downs and play great situational football. Just gets rid of it, hit it, he's got it! Nico Collins, first and goal. Will host this game as the winners of the AFC South. Play action on first down. Flacco airs it out, open. Choco has it. There's the big play from Flacco. He put third and goal. Up the middle. He goes over the top, but he's in. Touchdown, Cleveland. First quarter, big pitch. Ryan Collins got good blocking. Collins has the corner, and he finds it. Touchdown, Houston. What a response. 4 down for Flacco. Shovel pass. Hunt has it up the gut. Hunt is in once again. Touchdown, Browns. Touchdown, Texans. Loads it up, fires downfield. Excellent touch. Perfectly delivered. Touchdown, Dalton Schultz. Pressure comes, gets rid of it. It's picked off. Steven Nelson takes it away. And he's looking to go the other way. Nelson has it on the sideline. Touchdown. Flacco dials it up, picked off again. Christian Harris is going to go. Back-to-back pick sixes. Houston down to 3. Looks like Njoku could be open. Get away. He won't. Christian Harris, the pick 6 on the last drive. Up down. Line as much as they can. Singletary makes the cut. Singletary. Touchdown.
Gonna find you and
After all those shenanigans, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Fun NFL, of course. Please like and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoy the 2024 NFL Super Wildcard Weekend recap. Of course, 6 games occurred all the way from Saturday to Monday. 3 doubleheaders. Again, it's supposed to be a tripleheader on Sunday because of some snow. That did not happen. But first game was the Browns and Texans in Houston, where the Texans completely boat raced the Browns after that first quarter. The Browns actually kind of went up, but after that, again, 31 unanswered points. No, more than that. It was like 30, yeah, something like that. Whatever. A lot of unanswered points by the Texans. Of course, they pitched a second half shutout and were able to blow the doors off the Browns and get their first playoff win since 2019 and give themselves a chance. Yes, very not favorably, but going into Baltimore next week, giving them a shot at having a chance to go to their first ever AFC Championship. Of course, the last time they had an opportunity to do that, they blew a 24-0 lead, so let's hope they don't do that. Browns, obviously, again, they really weren't expected to do much this year, again, considering what they went through. Of course, with 5 actually different starting quarterbacks, and the fact they even got this far is pretty impressive, so it's not the end of the world that you guys did lose this game, even though it was a little disappointing. Of course, for the Browns, Joe Flacco, 34-46, 307, touchdown, 2 picks. A lot of this was garbage time numbers, but I will say this, in the first half, he was very good. The only thing I will say is, again, those 2 pick sixes in the second half really gave them no chance to win. Their running game didn't show up at all. It was just not very good. Of course, Kareem Hunt, being your number 1 running back, hurt you most of this year. Of course, Jerome Ford has been disappointing again. ever since Nick Chubb went out. And if, of course, you had Nick Chubb, I think this probably would have been a closer game. David Njoku, 7 for 93. He was pretty good overall in this game. Harrison Bryant also had some big catches. Amari Cooper got completely shut down. David Bell, 8 for 54. He was probably the most reliable receiver, as well as Kareem Hunt catching a touchdown, receiving and rushing touchdown in this football game. Defensively, JOK was really good at 9 tackles in coverage. I actually think he did do a decent job. The safeties got completely torched in this game. The corners also did not play their best. I will say this, again, it was more the yak yards they gave up. Again, the safeties did not have a good game in any way, shape, or form. And also, the contain that these linebackers played with was pretty, he was pretty atrocious. Even JOK, again, he had a pretty solid day, but outside of that, it was just really rough. Of course, defensive line-wise, they did not really any sort of consistent rhythm or pressure packages at all in this football game. It looked really rough in terms of what they were able to do schematically for this Browns defense. Jim Schwartz, extremely disappointing, obviously, but when 2 pick sixes is never good. Again, the Texans, I did say the Browns defense has struggled on the road this year, but I didn't think they were going to be this bad, as well as this, again, 2 pick sixes from Joe Flacco. And for the Texans, obviously, C.J. Stroud had a massive day in his debut. Of course, your backup quarterback can come in a playoff game. That's pretty good. 16 of 21, 274, and 3 touchdowns in this football game. He was absolutely electric. He barely missed any throws. Running game, yeah, Devin Singletary's 19-yard touchdown really helped boost up that yards per carry. But, they didn't really have to run the ball considering how well C.J. was throwing the ball. Again, Nico Collins consistently shows why he should get a massive contract, 6 for 96 and a touchdown. Of course, Brevin Jordan had this crazy 76-yard dump off on the catch and run. John Mechie was also very good in this game. He got created more separation than I really saw even at Alabama, as well as Dalton Schultz having 1 catch for a touchdown as well. Again, it was a lot of big plays for this offense in the passing game, as well as the running game that got them a lot of their points. But it wasn't like the offense obviously struggled. They had, a lot of big plays. Defensively, though, Desmond King had 12 tackles. He was lethal in the slot. Christian Harris, of course, 8 tackles, sack, and a pick 6. He is probably the defensive player of the week out of any defender. Again, the pick 6, the huge sack. He was great in this game. They got a ton of pressure. They had 4 total sacks. Of course, a great, I think it was like a 74 or 76-yard pick 6 from the corner, Steven Nelson. This defense played better than they have all year, and it really showed in this game. Of course, Kyler Murray also had a field goal. Again, having a home playoff game, guys. I'll just say right now, 5 of the 6 teams that won this week in Wildcard Weekend were all home. It does kill to have a home playoff game. Overall, the yardage wasn't, again, the big story in this one. It was more, again, the explosiveness of both these offenses. Again, overall, again, the Texans having almost double the yards per play of the Browns was a huge difference in this football game. Neither team really ran the ball well. Neither team was hyper efficient, really. Again, on 3rd down, the Browns were actually pretty good overall. But again, the 2 pick sixes thrown from Joe Flacco were the difference in this football game. If you take this away, the Browns definitely would have had a better chance to win this game. Again, the big plays really just killed the Browns. Again, the Texans, they had, I'd say, 5 or 6 of them that killed the Browns in this football game and led to the Texans completely boat racing them. Again, the second half, the Browns did absolutely nothing offensively, but they did have a really good first half. And with that said, let's get right into the keys to the game grades for both these teams. Obviously, going the offseason for the Browns, 30-plus points was not what happened. Jerome Ford, it's just not there. Amari Cooper, again, he struggled in this game. And, yeah, Joe Flacco did throw 2 picks. It really killed him in this game. Next year, they need to get another receiver that can be reliable because Elijah Moore just isn't it as a number 2 right now. I will say this, defensively, they got to figure out some way to get one of these linebackers more active in coverage. Again, JOK was really the only guy covering anyone, which you need another guy doing that. We'll get more into it when we get into one thing every single NFL team has to do this offseason. But for the Browns, offensively in this football game, they just, again, completely were blown up in this game. I got to give them 5 minuses. Defensively, though, Martin Emerson Jr. being on Nico Collins in the slot, they actually did do a good job there. Nico Collins was not super productive there. Denzel on him in the boundary, that obviously didn't work out too well. They gave up a lot of air yards, and obviously they did not have 4 sacks. They, again, didn't even have a single one. They have too many big plays. Browns defense next year, again, the secondary I don't think is that big of a deal. They got to figure out a guy who can really just, again, put a blanket on this, again, really just, again, keeping everything in front of them at times. Again, they have Grant Delpit, but they honestly do need free safety. Again, I like Juan Thornhill, guys, but he's just, again, pretty average overall. They need a dude who can simply just knock anything over the top because that killed them in some games this year. Obviously, was their demise this year as well in those big play drives. But Browns defensively, I don't know. They didn't really show up either. 6 minuses. I will say this, though. They did give them a shot when it was 24-14, but obviously that was just about it for them. Time for the Texans. Offensively, having Shaq Mason kick out to double Myles Garrett when running duo on 2nd down. They didn't really try to do too much of it because, again, they had so many big play opportunities. But, again, it's not super sustainable. But, again, if they can get those same type of plays next week against a team like, what is it called, the Ravens, they could have a shot. Obviously, Devin Singletary having a very good game yards yards per carry after contact. I don't think he had that many yards, but it was probably right around 2. He was pretty good. Nico Collins over 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. Definitely not, but obviously still had a pretty big game. Offensively, again, All the really difference in this game was those big plays, guys. And again, that's all they really needed. So offensively, I'll give them 5 pluses. 45 points is 45 points, even though if you only scored 31. Defensively, Devin Singletary under a yard of separation allowed in man per snap. He was great. Jalen Petrie, not so much. He didn't do anything crazy, but then again, he didn't give any big plays. And Will Anderson was also very good in this game. Defensively, obviously, again, the 2 pick sixes will headline it, but that was probably their best defensive performance in a couple of years. Overall, defensively, though, I will give them 7 pluses. That was a phenomenal output. Do the same thing against Baltimore next week, and you guys might have a shot at winning, because, again, the Browns were able to pull that memo off against what is it called? Against the Ravens, and they were able to win. So, who the heck knows for the Texans, but I'll be very interested to see what they can do in Baltimore next week. With that said, though, here's our second game, Dolphins and Chiefs. Here are the highlights.
Ahmed, thank you. GEHA Field in Arrowhead, 4th coldest NFL playoff game. Official temperature 4 below for this matchup. From the 11, Mahomes, cutting across, Rice brings it in to the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City. What an opening drive. 35, Tua, puts it up, high and intercepted. It's Mike Edwards in the back, coming up with the pick. This one's reasonable, 28 yards. Harrison Butker, a big game. 2nd and 1, Tua fakes it, takes the shot downfield for Hill. Gotta come back, Tyreek got it, inside the 10, keeps running to the end zone. Now gonna have to make a play, and nobody does it better than him. There goes Mahomes, inside the 10, first and goal. Butker good from 28, earlier in this quarter, now from 26. Keep them up. Here comes the blitz, Mahomes throws in the middle, Rice coming. Rice taking off, Rice down the sideline. 6. Now Butker from 32. See that wind whipping. 2nd and 6. Mahomes back again, climbing through the pocket and taking off as Mahomes gets inside the 10 and the 5. Hit hard there. Already. This looks like an old school extra point, a 21-yard field goal for Butker, who's now 4 for 4. 45. Protected again. Rips it. Rice again. Rashee Rice injured in the 3rd quarter. Pacheco fakes the pitch, bounces left, into the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City. To go, Chiefs bring 4 underneath and try to run for it with Wilson. Not close.
Sip on the concrete, but at the seats, but no, don't weep. Why Clef?
And despite this game being on Peacock, it was the most streamed event ever in streaming history, which isn't really saying much. It was a football game, but still, the Chiefs keep their hopes of the AFC Championship alive with a dominating defensive 26-7 win. In what was, of course, the 4th coldest game in NFL history at -4 degrees at kickoff. Of course, the Dolphins sold this season as the 6th seed after, their 10-3 start. They end the season losing, 4 out of their last 5. Something like that. The Texans did not have the strongest end of the season, of course, losing 3 in a row. You count this game in as well. Again, the Chiefs as that 3 seed. Again, keep their hopes alive. They will head to Buffalo next week, and it will be a historic showdown against the Bills to actually cap off the weekend. We'll get more into that as the week goes on. Of course, though, for the Chiefs, if they want to host the AFC Championship, they are going to need those pesky Ravens to lose to Houston. If they want that to happen, of course, they're going to have to win Buffalo. Which, of course, means Patrick Mahomes go on the road for his first ever road playoff game, which will be very interesting. Tua in the cold, he didn't really have any of it. Again, outside of that 53-yard touchdown to Tyreek Hill in the 1st quarter, this offense did absolutely freaking nothing. It was a rough game. Yeah, they had some drives in the garbage time in the 4th quarter where they did something. But that's really, again, Cedric Wilson. I think River Craycraft might have had a catch as well as Jalen Waddle. But this offense struggled in the elements for sure. And, of course, Raheem Mostert, not the brightest game for him either. Again, Tua just didn't want to be out there. Defensively, I will say this, they did give a really good fight, again, in holding into field goals. Again, the secondary was very physical in this game, which, yeah, did screw them on a couple plays, but overall, that really kept them in this football game. Because, again, it kept them from, again, this defensive line getting completely ran over. Because, again, when the secondary is being really physical, again, the Chiefs aren't going to try to run the football. again, if they weren't being physical, again, these receivers not only would run over them, but then that would convince the Chiefs again to start running the football a little more, and then that's when they really could have gotten this game blown open. Again, they still lost by nearly 20 points, but this defense did again hold them to what was it, like 4 field goals on those drives. So overall, again, no one was particularly fantastic, but again, on the outside, and Kid or KO for sure, being very physical as well as these linebackers. Yeah, the tackling was definitely not great in this game by any means. They had some really bad plays, but there's just, again, the physical presence they're being is, well, it's the fact that there really weren't any big holes throughout the whole game from this defensive line that they were giving up. Again, the linebackers were bad in this game, to be completely honest. But again, with the D linemen being able to, again, hold these gaps and not getting out leveraged by a lot made a big difference. Obviously, Christian Wilkins really helped them out a lot with that. But again, guys like Zach Sealer, Melvin Ingram, Raekwon Davis were all very good with that as well. Oh, I got to at least say that. Jason Sanders, he didn't have a field goal attempt. I think that was also a big difference. For the Chiefs, though, Mahomes had a couple bad throws. Obviously, he got completely clocked on some of those plays, which was pretty funny. But of course, he had 2 big runs in that one drive. Again, Isaiah Pacheco, of course, at the game, basically game-clinching touchdown. But obviously, Patrick Mahomes got the ball to one guy, and everyone else kind of was just there. I mean, Travis Kelce made a couple of nice plays, but he also had like 4 or 5 drops. Rashee Rice, though, again, he got injured. We'll see his status for next week. But overall, he was really good. 8 for 130 and touchdown. Chiefs rookie franchise record for receiving yards by a rookie in a game. He will be here for a long time to continue to develop like he was able to play in this game. Of course, the yak yardage is really what they need out of him, and he's been able to do that this year. Meanwhile, this defense, George Karlaftis was a monster, had 1.5 sacks, basically 2. Chris Jones also would have a sack on a couple pressures. Mike Edwards had a big interception as well as started. Again, the corners on the outside were completely dominating these receivers, as well as the fact, again, out front, they were just, again, completely getting a lot of pressure. I will say this, though. The interior definitely could have done a better job, especially going into next week. But again, they're going to have to do a lot better job with penetration. They don't want to make it hard on Josh Allen to find these receivers. But outside of that, again, this defense did do a pretty darn good job. Looking at the team stats, though, obviously the Chiefs had over 400 yards of offense. Again, they had a good running game overall. Not the most efficient by any means, but they did get it done. 2 total turnovers combined. Again, with the weather, the Chiefs were just again able to really outmuscle them with that time of possession, and that really killed the Dolphins in this football game. And also let them their back-to-back playoff exits in that first round. Time for the keys to game grades. Of course, the Dolphins have not won a playoff game since the year 2000. Dolphins offensively, hand warmers. Tua didn't really, I don't know what he did with that, but it didn't really work out well. Tua did have some bad throws. I think it was just, again, him not being fully, what is called, acclimated to this weather, as really no one is. Devon Achane brings some to punish tacklers. I think he only broke 1 tackle, and that might be even a stretch. Devon Achane did absolutely nothing in this game. Tyreek Hill blowing up by everyone late. Not late, he did it early, but that was literally their whole offense. Offensively, again, they put up a complete clunker. I'm not too surprised. No one really wanted to be out there, and again, the offensive line was basically frozen by the 4th quarter. Defensively, Jalen knocking receivers at the top of other routes for potential undercuts. He didn't actually do much of that at all. Again, it was more, again, a lot of those quick passes. So, again, those receivers really getting exposed to Jalen Ramsey being able to just completely dominate them. So, for that reason, there's really nothing I can say about that. KL being more physical at the catch point. He made a big adjustment in that after that first quarter. So, again, being able to get to these receivers quicker. Again, making it really hard for them to make the contested catch. And that really did help that the, what is called, Chiefs, really hurt the Chiefs a lot in the red zone. But KL overall could have been a little more disciplined coverage. Obviously, Zach Sealer was really good, too. Again, I don't really have much bad stuff to say about this Miami defense. Again, the blitzes they brought sometimes were very obvious. But outside of that, I think they did do actually a decent job and kept them in the game for most of it, at least. I'll give them a plus. I mean, I think they actually did do a decent job. Again, considering how injured they were, I'll give them 2 pluses. Because, again, the Chiefs offense isn't anything world-beating, but the way this offense was playing, they did help kind of keep them in the game for most of it. Time for the Chiefs. Chiefs offensively, 45+ rushing attempts. Not even close. No, maybe I don't think they had that many, but they did run the ball a lot. Obviously, not 225 rushing yards, but they did have over 145. Of course, they did score 20+ points. They didn't have that many minutes possession, but they did have the ball for a long time. And obviously, Patrick Mahomes did not throw a touchdown behind the back, but it was a pretty nice one he did throw. Offensively, again, get the ball to Rashee Rice and run the ball, I guess. It was pretty a straightforward game plan again. Yes, it was a little frustrating at times. They could have scored a lot more touchdowns in the red zone. They'll have to do that next week for sure. But offensively, if you're the Chiefs, you can't be too concerned. I don't know, 2 pluses. They did do a decent job. Defensively, the corner being super aggressive when the ball was in the air. They actually really weren't. Again, it was more disciplined because, again, they don't want the ball going over the top of them, especially in that weather. George Karlaftis was huge. Again, he did have a big sack when he was hot on Tua, and obviously 3 + 3 and outs in the second half. Maybe they had 2 of them. I don't think they had 3. But defensively, obviously, a very, very good performance. I'll give them 6 pluses. That's all I got from the bona fide ice ball in what was an exclusive game on Peacock, which, don't ask me why, but that's probably coming back next year. Now let's get to the games that were on Sunday, starting off with not this game. That would be the Packers game. Yeah, here are the highlights. Oh, my God. Cowboys, is it ever going to change? Holy crap.
It is the playoffs here in Arlington. The wild card round commences on Fox. Love, Jones getting near the goal line. Is he in? He is! Touchdown, Green Bay on the opening drive. Four-man rush. Prescott fires for Cooks, and it's intercepted. Jair Alexander, he's got it. Up on his feet, racing to the end zone. Aaron Jones up the gut, surging forward. He's in. Touchdown, Green Bay. Here's Love. Pressure. Back foot throw. End zone. It is caught for the touchdown. Dontavian Wicks.
This crowd is in shock.
Extra point up, and the extra point hits the post. It's no good. It's the sixth miss. Two here, though. Here's Prescott over the middle. It's going to be picked off, and no one in front of him. Darnell Savage. Touchdown. Prescott gonna keep. Toss to Ferguson, and he's in for the touchdown. From 34 yards out. And the kick is up and good. Oh, a little miscommunication there, but Love still stands in. He's got a man wide open, and Dobbs comes back to get it. Romeo Dobbs racing up the sideline, and he's down inside the 20. Jones again, running left, running up the middle, and running in for a touchdown. Pollard is in. Touchdown, Dallas. Here's Aubrey, extra point. Hits the post, and it's no good. Make it to him here. Love, back foot, has a man wide open. It's going to be caught by Musgrave. Racing towards the end zone. He is in. Touchdown. On the fake. Love zips it in there. And it's caught for the touchdown. Romeo Dobbs. Prescott rifles over the middle, and he's got a touchdown to Ferguson. Going end zone, Ferguson, and he makes the catch, and he's got another.
I rest, no stress if you don't smoke cess. Less, I must confess my destiny.
And the Packers shot literally everybody with a blowout win over the Dallas Cowboys with a 48-32 win. Obviously, 48 points is the most points the Cowboys have ever scored in the playoffs. Not the Cowboys, the Packers have scored. Now, obviously, the most points the Cowboys have ever given up. And on all three levels, the Cowboys were a travesty in this game and are bounced from the playoffs for the third consecutive year before getting to the NFC Championship. Of course, the 13th in NFL record time they have made the playoffs and not gotten to the NFC Championship. Of course, they've won 12 games for the third straight season, and again, they completely choke yet again. It's just downright funny at this point, guys. First time a 7 seed in the Green Bay Packers have ever won a playoff game, again, in the new 14 NFL playoff team format. And yes, this was almost as good as the Rams winning, which again did not happen. But whatever. Jordan Love, yeah, Aaron Rodgers, yeah, they have another great quarterback. They grow him on trees, guys. He's going to be here for the next 15 years and probably just leave, go back to the Jets. I don't know, something like that. They'll figure that out. But yeah, he again had a lot of wide open receivers and didn't miss them, and he was downright unbelievable under pressure. Aaron Jones always cooks the Cowboys. He now has 9 against them in his career. Averages, I don't think he didn't have that many scrimmage yards. Again, that being like he had almost 100. Again, averaged like 150 something scrimmage yards against them in his career, but he still had over 100 in 30. So pretty ridiculous. Romeo Dobbs got open a lot. Couldn't get some big catches. 6 for 151 touchdown. Luke Musgrave, of course, caught the touchdown where I don't think the you could hear the crickets chirping. That's how there was nobody even within a mile of him. Obviously, Dontavian Wicks has a huge, 20-yard touchdown in the end zone on that third down. That was pretty ridiculous. Tucker Kraft also continues to be somewhat productive. And Christian Watson, only 1 catch for 9 yards in this offense, is still doing something. Yeah, Jayden Reed didn't do much in this game really at all. Again, he had a couple nice blocks, I guess, but when you can have that happen, I mean, there's really nothing bad happening. Of course, Romeo Dobbs is the best receiver on this team, but don't count on Jayden Reed. He's probably the most talented dude. Again, Christian Watson probably is more, but whatever. Defensively, Keyshawn Nixon had 11 tackles and a sack. By far the best game I've ever seen from him by any means. The simple truth about this defense was, again, they simply just stick to their keys. Again, they watch it, again, really all week, they watch the Cowboys and say, what do the Cowboys do that is very predictable pre-snap? They followed that. They played their true zone coverage. They didn't get anything really crazy out of it. And yeah, the Cowboys just simply couldn't adjust, and they stuck with what they wanted to do. Also, were extremely aggressive at some points. And that led to, again, a pick six from Darnell Savage Jr. and Jair Alexander with a very big interception, who, whenever he goes up against number one receivers, is just straight up big time. You can tell me otherwise, but guys, Jair Alexander, whenever he plays like an elite receiver, they always struggle. Like, they just completely suck against them. Every time Jair Alexander has played an elite receiver, it's just like that. Repeating myself 5 times, but it's that important. Obviously, they got a lot of pressure, too. It wasn't like these guys were consistently winning by any means, but timely pressure is always important. Even if Keyshawn Nixon was definitely a coverage check. Devontae Campbell also was fantastic. Again, they did a great job against the run. This defense was really good. Obviously, it wasn't, again, being anything special, but again, with the Cowboys being so predictable, pretty easy. And speaking of the Cowboys, they basically said, yeah, we're not going to do anything crazy. We're just going to kind of win with our matchups. And obviously, they weren't able to do that because, again, they just got completely boat raced. Dak struggled mightily in the first half. Second half, a lot of garbage time yards. Don't take this seriously. He threw for 87 yards and 2 picks in the first half. Tony Pollard struggled. Again, he's not a number one back. That's the best way I can put it for him. CeeDee Lamb, yeah, a lot of garbage time catches. He got completely shut down in that first half. It looked really bad. Michael Gallup had 103 yards. I mean, Jake Ferguson, this is like a great fantasy game. I mean, if you did this in the regular season, this would be great. Defensively, though, I mean, they sucked. They didn't show up. This is really bad. There's no other way to put it. Damone Clark got completely owned. Marcus Bell, Josh Myers, that center. He is his daddy. That was really rough. Deron Bland didn't see you really at all. Jaron Kearse struggled big time. Stephon Gilmore got roasted. Donovan Wilson shouldn't have been out there, and Malik Hooker just looked like he was hurt. That's the best way I can put it. Micah Parsons had a couple pressures. I think he had 3, but it was bad. This defense was by far the worst they played this year. And Dan Quinn probably should be fired. You can talk all you want about Mike McCarthy getting fired, but there's really no point in actually firing guys. Man, they don't win in the playoffs. 12-win seasons. 3 straight years. You don't fire a coach for that. I'm really sorry. Again, I get the fact that they completely choked this game. Give him 1 more year. It's only 1 more year of him. Again, Jerry Jones wants to see his team win the Super Bowl, but you can't really get much better than this. If you're a Cowboys fan, you just straight up won't get any better than this. It's just simple truth about it, because you're going to have to play Dak. This was your best chance to win the Super Bowl, guys, and you completely threw it away. So, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, I picked you guys to lose this game. I wasn't expecting 27-0 in the first half. I wasn't expecting 48-16. But considering how you guys have always struggled over the past 30 years to not win this, get the NFC Championship, I'm not surprised at all. For the team stats, though, the Cowboys did have over 500 yards of offense, despite, again, losing by a lot. Obviously, again, the 2 picks from Dak were the big difference. These team stats really don't tell you much at all. The real difference is the Packers showed up, played their best game of the year. The Cowboys kind of just threw it away and are embarrassingly lost. And we'll go into the offseason saying, should we blow it up or should we just, again, roll with it again? Which they should, because they can't get any better. There's really no way. You're going to have to pay Dak $60 million, and, yeah, that's about it. I mean, there's some guys you're not going to keep. Like, I have a hard time imagining that secondary is going to look the same going into next year. With that all said, though, here's the game race for both these teams. Packers offensively, Jordan has to throw over 220 and 3 touchdowns like Aaron did in 2017. Christian Watson did not do that, but they did get, Jordan Love had a big day. The other Aaron going for 120 yards in a long game clincher. Again, they didn't need a clinching run. All they needed him to do was do what he did. And again, don't get beyond the 6 in the first quarter. They could even do that, and they were fine. Obviously, this Packers offense did get help from their defense, but offensively, they completely, again, dominated this football game. On the Packers offense, I am very happy. 48 points is a ton. I'll give them 7+. It's time for the Packers. My bad, I forgot about this defense. But defensively, don't give up 50 points. They didn't, and they did give up the 500 yards, not to Dak, though. And obviously, they just played their normal defense, and it worked out somehow for them. So, I mean, defensively, it wasn't like they were completely great, but I'll give them 4+, because Matt Berry's, probably it's not even that good for you guys, because, what is it called? Jordan Berry is going to get fired. So, it's going to get fired now, because, again, how you guys have played the past couple weeks. With that all said, time for the Cowboys. Cowboys offensively, Dak finding on his first read, what is it called, even if they're in rough space. Again, the interception did the complete opposite. If you don't know, back in San Francisco last year, his first interception he threw against them was the exact same thing where, again, Brandon Cooks was his third read. He went to him basically saying, yeah, I'm just going to go to you anyway. That was so stupid. Tony Pollard did not break 3 tackles. I don't even think he broke 1. Tyron and Tyler Smith actually don't even think they had played too bad. Again, considering, again, how bad, I don't even know how Zach Martin's a first-team All-Pro, guys, but that's beyond me. Pulling guys at the shoulder and up, nope, they didn't even do that. I don't think they were that bad. I just didn't do much at all. And no choke jobs in the fourth quarter. They choked, again, on the first freaking whole game. So, yeah, offensively, completely failure, 5 minuses. Failure, 5 minuses. Defensively, I'm not even going to read this crap because they didn't do any of it. And obviously, again, they just didn't really bother to show up. 8 minuses. I'm done with these Cowboys, guys. Again, they can't get any better, so there's really no point in them doing this. But with all that said, yeah, here was Stafford's return, and again, it was complete BS at the end of the game. And Craig Rolstad is the worst official in the NFL, at least for the Rams. Here were the highlights. Yeah, the Lions finally did it, guys. 32 freaking years.
It's a night Detroit, Michigan has been waiting 3 decades to enjoy. Tonight, inside Ford Field, it's the first home playoff game since 1994. Right back to Montgomery, to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Field goal here, 24 yards. And he nails it. Good for Maher.
Reynolds, 20 explosives out of 40 catches this year. Give you some idea.
Gets up the middle to the end zone. Another Detroit touchdown. Aaron Williams up to protect. Pressure comes. Stafford gets it. Completes it. On the road to the 42-yard line. And Stafford trying to cool it. Up and down the sideline. He's got it. Another touchdown. We're lined up to the backfield. They switch it out here. 4th and a long yard. 2 for the touchdown. Goff looking to throw. Throws back the end zone. Laporta. Lions bring an extra one. Anzalone's picked up. It's caught. One. He threw to Tutu at low. Bye-bye, Tutu. Touchdown, Rams. Ashley. Got it. And Brett Maher skips that to the right side. Then Evans to hold. Tough year learning how to hold. That was smooth. This kick's not pretty, but it's through. For G. Stafford steps up, throws. With a ton of contact. No call and 4th down. 3 and 5. Knox with a throw, and it's caught by St. Brown for a first down. And business is done.
Hey. Yeah.
Penny X.
Bro, come on, man. Yeah, I'm kind of sad, but, like, also, like, what? We weren't supposed to be here in the first place. Like, the Rams were supposed to be bad this year. They weren't supposed to be good. But obviously, they still made the playoffs, and, yeah, this was rough. It was not a fun game. Of course, first half, the Rams defense was Swiss cheese. That's the best way to put it. It could have been worse than that. Offensively, they were really cooking the watch with those big plays to Tutu Atwell and Puka Nacua. But second half, the Rams scored 6 points, and the Lions scored 3 points. This Rams defense was great in the second half. They really kept them in it. I mean, if Michael Badgley just didn't did what he usually does on those 54-yard field goals, we would have won this game. But then again, you can't really rely on a kicker to win games like this. But yeah, Rams offensively, I will say this, they had, you might ask, why in the world did the Rams suck in the red zone in terms of, like, you know, not scoring touchdowns? Well, we'll get to that in a second, because first things first, hats off to Matthew Stafford, who played himself a freaking game, 25 of 36, 367 yards, and 2 tutties. Yeah, he was crazy in this game, guys. Matt Stafford was great. I will say this, though, again, he couldn't have been better. That's the best way I can put it. Just simply could not have. So, you ask, why didn't the Rams score like freaking 40 points, which they really should have? Well, first off, the Lions defense, the one thing they really did well in this football game, outside of, again, getting lucky in the red zone, was being really good against Kyron on first down. Kyron Williams only had, one good first down run. Like, the success rate was down in the 20s. It was pretty bad there. Again, that really hindered this Rams offense in terms of, again, what they were able to do in terms of flexibility with this running game on first down. But again, if Kyron, I think they could have ran the ball more than they did. But then again, just not having any success on first down kills you. Puka obviously went bonkers. 181 yards is a rookie record for a single game in the playoffs. 9 catches, 1 touchdown. He's the best Rams receiver right now. Again, I love Cooper Kupp, guys. Again, favorite player on the Rams, but he's kind of old, and he's been off all year. So this year, it's obviously been Puka. Demarcus Robinson, 3 catches, 44 yards. He was still really good. Of course, got some darts. Tutu Atwell, 38-yard touchdown as well in the catch and run. Ronnie Rivers was very good out of the backfield. Davis Allen will probably be the starting tight end next year because Tyler Higbee got his leg illegally snapped and tore his ACL by Kirby Joseph. Again, he's probably going to I love watching Kirby Joseph play. We'll get to him in a minute, but that was a freaking cheap hit. Defensively, though, Ernest Jones was really good. 9 tackles, 2 sacks. Again, it's pretty night and day, first half, second half. I mean, Jared Goff did absolutely nothing. Again, pretty simple. The Rams actually got pressure in the second half, and Jared Goff floated like a lawn chair. That's really what I got to say there. Kobe Durant, he's been bad. He was bad all year, in my opinion. I mean, not bad. He just, again, very big disappointment. Again, yes, he was a 6th-round pick, but again, guys, I expected him to at least do something this year. He did absolutely nothing. But again, we'll get to that in the offseason, which is basically now. But, yeah, Keller Witherspoon was pretty good. This Rams defense against Swiss cheese in the first half. Second half was much better. Matt Maher also hit his 3 field goals, which, again, it was an adventure, but he did get them through the uprights. For the Lions, Jared Goff, I mean, guys, you can talk all about him being the dude. Again, great. I feel good for him. Whoa, holy crap. I do feel good for him, but then again, guys, like, he did absolutely nothing in the second half and was not the reason they won this football game by any means. I mean, he folded like a lawn chair when pressure got into him. It's been like that his whole career. That's why the Rams got rid of him. Of course, you look at Dan Campbell and Sean McVay. The real difference between those 2 head coaches, I think that's probably Sean McVay's one weakness. Sean McVay gets rid of guys. He doesn't believe in all his dudes. Dan Campbell does. Yes, it sometimes does cost him putting some guys in the field. It really does. But on the other point, again, when all the guys believe in you, when you believe in all your guys, they all believe in you, which means the culture is mutual. Not as much for the Rams. I think that was really the difference in terms of the coaching in this game. But the running game was not all that impressive, and they had a really good first and second drive. But outside of that, again, no one really ran the ball well for this Lions team. Receiving-wise, Amon-Ra St. Brown was legit. Josh Reynolds cooked his firmware team. And yeah, Sam Laporta also had a touchdown because, again, they put Michael Hoyt on him. They really need an edge rusher this offseason. Defensively, though, I mean, again, outside of the holding that, again, Craig Rolstad, who, if you didn't know, is a Seattle Seahawks fan, being as biased as he could have. Aiden Hutchinson is legit, obviously, though. I mean, they got away with a lot of holding. Obviously, the worst one was, again, that play where, what is it called? I think it was Kato Hilder or Brian Branch, whatever. They completely, like harassed or abused Puka on that hold. That was so bad. The Rams were having like a friggin' sweatshop sewing thing going on the sideline, considering how many times these guys are just getting completely tugged on. Like, it was pretty bad. Again, you can't completely, because again, in the all corners, like offensive linemen, they have to hold. Like, that's just how it works. Like, it won't. And football doesn't like work. You're supposed to hold, obviously. But some of these holds were ridiculous. If you're the ref, you gotta throw these freaking flags. It was pretty bad. In the red zone, the Rams receivers got absolutely no separation. Not because they couldn't get separation. It was because these corners and safeties were just completely like grabbing them. It was really bad. Obviously, it wasn't that bad to the point where they were tackling them. Some plays it was that bad, but holy crap. The refs really struggled in the second half. It was bad on both sides of the ball. It wasn't just the Rams, but yeah, that was part of the reason the Rams didn't score another touchdown in the red zone. I'm not saying they shouldn't have gone for it on a couple of those 4th downs, but man, that really screwed them over because they did have over 400 yards of offense, guys. They outplayed the Lions in this football game, especially in that second half. The Rams should have at least had one more touchdown. I'm not going to completely stress over it, though, because we're going to be back next year and better than ever. So I will say that the Rams obviously have a very bright future ahead of themselves, which was very not supposed to happen going into the offseason, but down the middle, again, it was just the red zone stats. Obviously not underlying, but the way they looked on paper. But if you're a Rams fan, you obviously, like me, be very hopeful for the future. Obviously, this is not the way you wanted to end this 2023 season, but again, you were really expecting too much. Again, I was expecting more in the playoffs, but obviously, whatever. Craig Rolstad being his normal self kind of screwed him over. And yeah, I mean, guys, Lions won first playoff game in 32 years. They were going to do it eventually, and honestly, they deserve to. I mean, maybe if it wasn't like they played like it, but I don't know. Good luck to you guys against the Bucs next week on next Sunday, and hope you guys don't get blown out by the Niners or the Packers upset the Niners. Because if you go to San Fran in 2 weeks, you're gonna get your absolute butts handed to you. But here are the keys to the game grades. Offensively, obviously, I already talked about Kyron again. They just didn't have no success on first down with the running game. Cooper saved it up for a game like this. He got held most of the game, and also again, he was completely off, guys. Cooper Kupp was not the same guy throughout this whole season. He just looked, again, really off and didn't look healthy. Puka was actually great, and the guards were very good against these Lions IDLs. Obviously, though, if you're the Rams offense, again, it was a lot of holding, but I do think they could have definitely been a little more aggressive. That's really all I got to say, though, because they had over 400 yards of offense, and they completely outplayed that Lions again, the Lions defense had no answer for any of the Rams receivers in this game, and obviously, they got away with a lot of those holding calls. They won't next year, that's for sure, when we play you guys in Detroit. We're going to win that game. But Rams offensively, I'll give you 2 pluses. Again, you did do a good job. I think you guys could have been better, obviously, in the red zone overall. But Run the ball a little better next year, and you have a shot. Again, there are some stuff you can do to upgrade. But with that said, time for this Rams defense. The same thing with the second straight time, but whatever. Absolutely no big play, miscommunications. They didn't give up too many of those. I think maybe one. Kobe and Aaron were very good. Not great, though. Byron, I think they do a good job of getting consistent pressure. Obviously, Michael Hoyt had their couple big plays there. Defensively, against Swiss Cheese, first half, really good second half. I'll give them a plus, to be completely honest. They did keep in the game with all that said, though. Again, you can't give up 21 points in the ending half and expect to win. But the way they played in that second half was well beyond what they needed to do to win this game. Obviously, very good job, guys. Again, we'll see you next year, I guess. Time for this Lions offense and defense, obviously. Offensively, yeah, again, Jared Goff did show up somewhat. But again, Amon-Ra was great. They didn't have that many big plays. But it was more, again, first half they did whatever they wanted to. Second half, again, Jared Goff floated like a lawn chair. I really don't know what to say. Offensively for the Lions, they didn't look too impressive. I'll give them 2 pluses, though, because, again, they did score enough points to win this football game. Defensively, though, they didn't even, really play that well. I mean, up front, they were obviously really good. The linebackers did do a decent job in coverage, but they got away with a lot of crap that I don't even know how they did. So, I mean, defensively, I don't know. I'll probably give them 2 pluses because, again, they were very good in the red zone, despite, again, all those penalties they got away with. But please don't let this happen again next week, guys, because that would be a shame. Time for Monday, in which was the first game, again, rescheduled, Steelers and Bills. And, man, was this Bills Mafia hyped.
It's Wildcard weekend, and it continues with a 7-2 matchup. The 7-seed Pittsburgh Steelers, winners of their last 3 to make it into the postseason against the AFC East champion.
Play for the Bills, just inside the 10. To the end zone. It's caught. It's Knox. Dawson Knox with a touchdown catch.
Bengals at 9-8 didn't make it. Here's a 1st and 10. And a completion to Pickens. The ball came out because he was on the way down. Question is, was he down? It's Buffalo from the 29. Right down the middle, they go for it. They got it! With Kincaid this time, the recipient of the Josh Allen touchdown. On 1st down. Oh, what a tackle. We're looking that way to Johnson. And it's picked off by Elam. Oh, boy, does he make up for those other 2 plays. And he's going to get the 1st down. Oh, and there he goes. Oh, it's going to get him. Incredible. Breaks it for the touchdown.
Finishing on the play before.
Pass. Complete. It's Hardy, who returned to punt last week. Oh, about the swirling winds here. Oh, boy, that is blocked. Pittsburgh makes a play.
Teammates, here's a 2nd and 7.
And it's caught for the touchdown. It's Deontay Johnson. Field goal attempt. 40 yards for Boswell. And Boswell has never missed. This kick is hammered home. Across the middle, Sherfield was knocked down with Shakir, knocked down inside the 10. Oh, what an effort! The play of the night! Rose, incomplete. That was Jackson on the coverage. Oh, my goodness.
To my friends, a born-again hooligan, only to be king again.
The Bills took care of business with a 31-17 win over the Pittsburgh Steelers, heading to the divisional round, or better, for the 4th consecutive year. Again, they have won in Buffalo in the wildcard round for, again, the 4th consecutive year as well. Again, the Steelers did put up a little bit of a fight at part of this game, but again, with the Bills taking up that 21-0 lead, and offensively having a pretty smooth day overall. Again, they probably should have scored, 37 points. Yeah, they had a really good day offensively. It was a blowout overall, though. Again, took care of business in this football game. Steelers have not won a playoff game since 2017. They won't win one until 2025, which would mean 8 years since they won a playoff game. Bills, though, again, they hosted Chiefs next week and finally look to get over their demons and have a very good shot at going to Baltimore. Again, we'll see what they can do against Kansas City, but that'll be a wild game. For the Steelers, though, Mason Rudolph, he was decent downfield overall. Again, for what you expect from him, he wasn't that bad. The interception against Kyrie was terrible, and he was bad under pressure. But again, I don't really know what you expect from him. Najee Harris back to brick feet, and Jalen Warren outside of the one run he had to start the game was pretty bad. Pat Freiermuth, again, they showed out that fumble, but he was definitely their most explosive player. George Figgins got completely shut down by, Christian Benford, but outside of that, he was pretty decent, I guess. Deontay Johnson had their 1 touchdown, again, outside the garbage one from Calvin Austin, but Yeah, offensively, it was definitely not a prolific game by any means. Defensively, though, again, they were awful. Their tackling was about as bad as could have got. I think they might have been overall better, a little better than the Rams were in the first half, against the Lions, but they still were pretty bad. Again, they got a little pressure at times. Alex Heisman, obviously, with a really nice sack. Marcus Golden also had a sack, but the tackling in this game was really bad, and that really was their demise in this game. Because overall in coverage, they didn't give up that much separation overall as a unit. And also the play calling from their DC was really good. For the Bills, though, Josh Allen, obviously very solid game, 21 of 32 with three touchdowns. He does this next week again. Again, he had 4 total touchdowns, which, of course, makes it 3 straight, playoff, you go back in 2021, or 2022 in those 2 playoff games, the third quarterback ever with 3 games with 4+ total touchdowns in a football game. James Cook, when he had big holes, he was very good. Josh Allen, obviously, the career-long, not only you run, but also touchdown run of 52 yards. Ty Johnson also had had a couple of nice runs as well. Dalton Cage, 3 catches, 59 yards and a touchdown. Stephon Diggs, 7 for 52. Deontay Hardy also had a 34-yard catch. And obviously, Kalish Kira with that crazy highlight. He's a yak demon. Dawson Knox also had a touchdown. I did not know Andy Isabella was on this team. Defensively, I mean, there's really nothing much to talk about. Because, again, Kyrie Elam, again, as much as I'm right about him as a draft pick, he had a big interception in this game, despite sucking outside of that. Greg Rousseau had a sack. Again, I'm not too, really talking about this defense. Again, some guys got injured, but I think they'll be fine. Again, they had a really good game. Tyler Bass obviously had a rough day with 2 missed field goals. 1 was blocked, though. Team stats, the Bills had a good amount of more yardage. Obviously had the ball longer. 2 turnovers by the Steelers were crucial in this football game, and they really didn't get back anything even close in this game. Again, when you got 21-0 going close in the half, should have won a game, and they absolutely did. Took care of business. Here's the keys to game grades. Steelers offensively, the interior, the O-line getting off the line and upfield in 2 or less steps to get Najee and Jalen set up for success. They weren't able to do that really at all. Again, the offensive line looked really sluggish in this game, and look, they got hit and gashed early by those defensive tackles. Mason not fumbling. I mean, he fumbled once, I think. I don't even know. It was pretty bad. George Pickens did not have 100 yards receiving. He got locked up. Offensively, again, it was what I kind of expected. And also, I mean, they just didn't really take advantage of any sort of even remote opportunities they got. Offensively, they were pretty rough, 5 minuses. I mean, they scored some points, but, I mean, I don't know what else you expected. Like, that's more or less what you were going to get. Defensively, Alex Heisman meeting the pulling guard, not really at all. Joey Porter Jr. actually was pretty good in this game. They didn't give up 450 yards again. It was just some big plays, as well as the fact again their tackling was pretty terrible in this game. They got to figure out how to get a linebacker or just simply anyone that can wrap up dudes in scramble drill or in the running game. Because again, they can minimize all those big runs that they gave up this year. The Steelers defense will be really, really good next year. Of course, with Joey Porter Jr., 2 really good edge rushers. Obviously, a pretty good core of interior guys until, again, Cam Hayward leaves. And actually a superstar in Minka in the secondary. So, again, we'll get more of that in the offseason. Holy crap. But they do need a bona fide stud at linebacker if this defense is really going to take that next step. Because in this game, they didn't show any of it and obviously struggled in terms of tackling. All I got for the Steelers, guys. Time for the Bills. Offensively, I'll give the Steelers 5 minuses. I think 6 is a little too harsh. But offensively, Josh Allen hitting his back foot and letting it fly on our 2.5. Yeah, he got the ball pretty quick. Not a huge game from James Cook, but the way, again, Josh Allen ran the ball was pretty good there. And they did not have anyone get hurt offensively, which was good. I mean, offensively, again, it was a pretty decent game, 5 pluses. There's really nothing else to say. Again, they did exactly what you expected them to do. And, again, probably even a little more. Defensively, though, stacking the box on 1st and 2nd down. I mean, somewhat. Again, they weren't really giving them any big runs anyway because how they were winning up front. Micah shaded to George Pickens. Micah Hyde, again, probably was sitting on the beach this game. Again, it was pretty cold, but you didn't really have to do too much in this game. And inside leverage on whoever's on Deontay. Yeah, Deontay Johnson did not. I think it was, yeah, I did not spell that right. Yeah, he didn't do that much, so I don't know. Defensively, again, not too impressed, but they, again, did what they were supposed to. 3 pluses. That is all I got for the Steelers. Time for Monday Night Football, and here was the wild card game. Yeah, Eagles and Bucs. Holy crap. Eagles completely took a dump in the second half of the season.
Chase McLaughlin from 28. Mayfield wide open. There's more again. His second catch. Still working through this secondary. And a touchdown. Who absolutely drills it.
Somebody running away from a defender and man.
47-yard try, and Mr. Reliable for the Eagles now 16 for 16 in his 5th season in the NFL. Snap a bit high, kick is
Perfect. This time aired out. Smith got him. Devontae to the 5. Yards for Devontae Smith. Hurts keeps wide open. A walk-in touchdown for Goddard. Hurts has got the bad finger. Don't forget about that. Pushed from behind. And he didn't get it. They hand to Gainwell, and there's not much there, so he'll try the other side. Lavonte David brings him down inside the 5. Hurts. David at his feet in the end zone. The ball came out, but they are going to...
On the offensive side of the ball.
2nd and 4. Here's another broken tackle. This is the rookie Trey Palmer, and he is gone. Pressure on Hurts to the end zone. Incomplete. And a turnover on downs by well inside field goal range. Lofted up. Godwin. Touchdown. Tampa Bay. Godwin.
Mommy, I just want to take you on a holiday.
And the Eagles complete their collapse with a 32-9 blowout loss to the NFC South champion. Not really deserving of it, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who of course will have a shot at going to the NFC Championship. Of course, they got to go to Detroit next week on Sunday at 3 o'clock, which will probably be the least high-profile game of the playoffs, I guess. I really don't know. We'll see, though. Eagles, though, I mean, they went out there, I guess. It was 16-9 at one point, nice, but, yeah, this offense is brutally bad. Jalen Hurts, again, outside the really awful safety he took, was really actually accurate downfield. He really only missed one throw downfield the whole game. I mean, but again, the numbers don't look too bad, but also, then again, he refused to throw the ball underneath. They didn't run motion once. The running game was terrible, and they didn't even run it anyways. Devontae Smith, he should get traded. 8 for 148. DeAndre Swift, I mean, he had some yardage at least. Dallas Goedert caught a touchdown, but guys, this offense struggles, and obviously they have lost Jason Kelce. He is retired, thank God. But if you're the Eagles offense, it was such a bad end of the year. Fire Brian Johnson. Find somebody who can get some motion going in this offense, because holy crap, were they dead. All shotgun. Run something. You gotta stop running outside zone. It's so bad from shotgun. It's so bad. But yeah, the Eagles offense was trash in this game. Defensively, they weren't really anything better. The tackling was just about as bad as it could have gotten. Nicholas Burrow actually was a decent job. I don't think he only missed one tackle. It wasn't even that bad. But Brandon Graham, Kevin Byard, they didn't do anything. Again, yeah, they got some set. Again, they actually got pressure for once. I'll say that. They get pressure, but James Bradbury, he's gone to crap this year. Holy crap, is he bad. They missed at least 10 tackles, though. Obviously, those 2 touchdowns they gave up were pathetic to third-string receivers. Zach Cunningham, Shaq Leonard picked the wrong teams. Holy crap, though. Yeah, yeesh, Eagles defense. You were terrible. Again, you got pressure, but it doesn't really mean much when you can't tackle. Bucs, Baker, again, was pretty good under pressure. Did take a couple sacks, which I actually think was a good thing. 22, 36, 337, 3 touchdowns. He is really good, and now has won more games than Tom Brady won last year. Well, we already knew that. My bad. Won a playoff game. Tom Brady didn't last year. Rachaad White, considering how bad of a efficiency he had this year in terms of his stats, did do a good job in this game with 4.0. K9, 8 for 89. Outside of that one drop in the end zone, he was pretty good, even though he did get completely killed in that one play. Trey Palmer and David Moore, of course, both had 40-plus yard touchdown. Of course, the 56-yard untouched, basically, touchdown for him. Chris Godwin also had a touchdown. Again, I get the fact that this offense did break a lot of tackles, of course, that being the skill position guys. But then again, the Eagles' excuse was we suck at tackling. That's basically the best way I can put that. Defensively, though, they got a lot of pressure, and they didn't really put up with any of the Eagles' BS, especially on those what is called, even especially in that tush push. Yeah, the Bucs defense said enough's enough. And absolutely hats off to Chase McLaughlin. He went 3 for 3 and had a couple of nice, really long field goals, or kind of long, whatever though. Team stats, Bucs had 426 yards. Obviously, the safety helped them out there in terms of the points. 34 minutes possession. Neither team actually turned over the ball, which was very weird in this game. But the Eagles going 0 of 9 and 0 of 2 on 4th down, so 0 of 11 overall. Really hurt them, as well as, again, 42 rushing yards with the Bucs going for over 100. Yeah, if you're the Bucs fan, you should be happy. But, yeah, the Eagles, again, it was just about as bad as it could have gotten at the end of the season. They pull the Cardinals. Yeah, that's, again, from 2021. But, yeah, Nick Sirianni, you should be fired. Brian Johnson, you should be fired. And the Eagles collapsed. Time for the keys to game grades. The Eagles offensively, Yak is your friend. I really don't know why they didn't try to throw the ball underneath this game. Lane Johnson struggled in terms of, again, setting the edge, but didn't really give it much outside of that. Ryan Neal was still pretty bad, but then again, they didn't really target him too much, and they did stay away from Antoine Winfield most of this game. Offensively, though, again, they didn't refuse to use any sort of motion, and that just killed you guys. Again, you didn't score anything. It was terrible. Wait, did they? Yeah, they scored 1 touchdown, but obviously the 2-point conversion. 5 minuses. No, 6 minuses. Defensively, Baker's went underneath. They did. He still did. Rashad White, obviously, it was pretty good, but honestly, I don't even care. The excuse they had for the tackling was so bad. It was that bad. So, Eagles defense, again, it collapsed. 8 minuses. See you next year, Eagles. Don't collapse. Don't go start 10-1 so you don't pull another freaking collapse. All right, Bucs time. And wrapping up the 2024 NFL Super Wildcard Weekend recap. Again, we got the Bucs offense, Mike and Chris going for over 200 yards the first half. No, they didn't pop off that much. They were pretty good. Tristan Wirfs, I think he may have 2 pressures. Baker, not out for 400, but he was still pretty good. They scored 32 points. Offensively, again, pretty darn good game. 5 pluses. Do that next week, you definitely can beat the Lions. Defensively, though, no crap play from the slots. They did a decent job. I don't think they were great, though. The edge rushers understanding the straight outfits they'll get. They did. Very easy for them. And Jamel Dean he didn't have a pick 6, but he was pretty dominant overall against the run. Defensively, again, they said enough's enough, and they very well took it to that Eagles D-line. Very solid performance, guys. 7 pluses. And that is all I got for the Bucs, and that's all I got for the 2024 NFL Super Wildcard Weekend recap. I will see you tomorrow for the power rankings again with the 8 teams that are left, with the 14 teams actually. Again, counting these teams that were left in the playoffs. Again, the what is called NFL Divisional Round Power Rankings. But until then, hope you guys enjoy your night, and yeah, see you tomorrow for that. And again, I think we'll have the preview on Saturday. But until then, again, see you later.
No timeouts left for the Bucs. Here comes Dane. 3 seconds. Dane pulls for the win. Dane time!